Hey everybody, Paul Abernathy here. Welcome to another episode, Electrical Code Academy Incorporated and the Fast Trax System. My name is Paul and I'm your instructor in the program. I'm also the CEO and president of Electrical Code Academy, and I invented the Fast Trax System. So people ask, what exactly makes your Fast Trax System different from any other platform when it comes to learning the National Electrical Code? Well, the number one thing that people struggle with is they don't have a structured plan, right? They don't know how to study. And so when I thought about that, and I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I've helped literally thousands of people prepare and understand the NEC, and I've taught seminars all around the country. And the one thing that I find is that people don't know the proper way to study. And the second thing is they have trouble with what's called reading comprehension. In other words, they read a question and don't truly understand what they're reading, so they get lost, and it really gets them into this panic state. And then they start answering questions, and they don't do a process of elimination. They don't take the answers and start breaking them down into best logical choices, even if they don't know the answer. They don't know how to do things like the three-wave method, how to move through an exam and answer what you know, then skip what you don't, come back in a second wave, and all these type of things are a way to study, but it's not just to get your license. This is the way that you would tackle the National Electrical Code in the field if you were an electrician. Look, if you go to TikTok, you go to Instagram, you go to Facebook, and you look at some of the images that people post, and they're pretty proud of it. In fact, even if you go to Trade Hounds, for example, and you look at some of these, people are very proud, yet the installations are riddled with code violations. Now, the thing about electricity is it still tends to work even when it's done wrong. If it's a plumber and it's done wrong, it leaks. If it's an HVAC guy that does it wrong, it doesn't cool or it doesn't heat, and people notice right away. When it comes to electrical, it tends to try to make itself work. And it can be unsafe condition even though it is working. So understanding that the National Electrical Code is a minimum standard. It's the minimally safest a dwelling or structure can be when it comes to electrical installations. Can you go above the minimums? Absolutely. But you can't go below the minimum. So that's what the NEC is all about. Now, if we teach you to understand the National Electrical Code, if I teach you to navigate that book, not just to pass an exam, but also teach you that when you get out into the field, you have a better way of looking things up and understanding it. Look, you're going to pay your hard-earned money either in time or in a program. If you spend hours combing through YouTube to try to learn something about the NEC, you have people that have some videos on calculations and other type of things. It takes a lot of your time. Time is precious today. You want something that's all-inclusive, right? You go online and you try to find different things, and then you come back and you think, well, how do I tackle the National Electrical Code? Where do I go first? Do I go to 210 for branch circuits? Do I deal with motors and 430? Where do I go? And what do I need to be studying in order to be successful on an electrical exam? Well, the Fast Trax System was designed, and it is a trademarked program that systematically works you through the National Electrical Code from the very beginning to all the useful, pertinent information that you need to be successful on an exam, but in real life as well. It moves you through all that. And along that journey, it tests you on competency. We want to see if you're absorbing the information. So people say, well, why not do it all in video so I can just sit back and watch the videos? Well, obviously, you know I have a studio, and you know that I produced training content in video. However, when it comes to preparing for the National Electrical Code exam and getting your license from state to state to state, the Fast Trax program was designed to not care what state it is. It's all based on the National Electrical Code, and it walks you through the most important parts of it, and it tests you all along that way. Now, during that program, we also give you access to over 800 practice exams. We also give you practice questions on a multitude of exams. We have, so I guess you could say we have over 800 practice questions, but then when you factor in the competency review questions, it's probably more like well over 1,200 to 1,300 questions in the program. All of these questions are designed to test your knowledge, test your ability to retain the information, and also test your ability to go into the National Electrical Code and find that information. Now, look, as we move you through the program, it gets tougher and tougher the further you go into the program. Unit 1, simple, talks about the history. Then it goes into definitions. Then it's going to go into things like box fill, cable requirements, okay? All these things. You're going to learn ampacities, all these things. As you move through our program, systematically is what it's designed to do. So if you're studying the code, and this happens a lot, I get calls all the time. Paul, where do I need to study? Well, that's a hard question to answer because you don't have a set with each state where you would need to study. Now, granted, they'll give you an idea. Like it's a PSI exam, they'll kind of give you a percentage. Reality is you need to be well grasped in all of the aspects preparing for an electrical exam. Now, our Fast Trax program, it's not designed for a master electrician. It's not designed specifically for a journeyman electrician exam. It teaches the NEC, period. So, and you take our program, you use it whether or not you're preparing for a journeyman exam or master's exam or electrical contractor's exam. We focus on the National Electrical Code. We don't deal in local law. We don't deal in OSHA. We don't deal in safety. That's your responsibility. And the state will tell you what documents you need to study for those. We are only focused on teaching you the NEC. That is what makes us unique because everywhere else, it's kind of watered down. We teach you the National Electrical Code. But if that wasn't enough, you also get access to our Wednesday night live sessions where I am there to answer any question that you may have on the National Electrical Code. If it's about your studying, if it's a question in the unit that you don't understand, even after we've given you the answer to help you, if you still don't get it, then I'm there on Wednesday nights and you have access to it. Now, I got to remind you, that is not part of the Fast Trax program. What I do on Wednesday nights is my gift to all of my students to try to be there because the Fast Trax system is pretty self-sufficient on its own. But I want to give you that little extra help, and that's why I make myself available on Wednesday nights. Sometimes we can be there for 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours if we're in a topic or we're doing Q&A or we're doing voltage drop or range calculations or single family, multifamily. It just depends. Each Wednesday night is uniquely different. They're all recorded. They're all available for you to watch at a later date in case you miss it. You can come and go as you please, but they're all available to you if you want to join us on the Wednesday night. Only available to Fast Trax students. Okay? Now, today we're specifically talking about the Fast Trax Black program, but we also have a residential, commercial, grounding and bonding, industrial, and electricity theory course as well available on our website. But as you see the URL down below, that will take you straight to our Fast Trax Black program. That is our exam preparation program, okay? But it's also the general program that teaches you the National Electrical Code. So as you can see here, we're going to go to the program here. Now, this is what the Fast Trax Black program will look like when you log in. So you'll get your console, you'll get access to it for 1 full year. You'll have access for a full year, and you'll have a bunch of units here, sections, and inside these sections are specific units. And then you have some important videos, and then you'll have the practice exams, but we also give you some residential and commercial blueprints. Okay, so usually you don't get that anywhere else. We give you some blueprints so you can look at them and try to get a little more familiar with how things are laid out on a blueprint, different elevations and things. So that's all included. We include that in the program, all in one place. So kind of give you a quick overview of what you get because you want to know, what am I getting for my money? Again, I can watch videos online from many people. I don't know if I'm trusting the source or not because I don't know how long they've been around. I say Google me, and you'll see that I serve on Code Making Panel 5 and 17, and I've been around teaching for over 30 years in this industry. Okay, so it's not hard to find out a little bit of information about me. Sometimes controversial because I do put myself out there because I believe in the truth and I believe in teaching the NEC the way it's written. And I have no problem with giving my interpretation, but it's been a well-founded with over 30 years of backing with that. Okay, so I used to work for NEMA. I was the head of jurisdictions in the city of Alexandria and the city of Richmond. I was the electrical engineer too for years. I was an electrical contractor for over 20 years. In fact, I was an electrical contractor here in Texas until I recently shut that down because, again, I'm not going to do any electrical work anymore. Still a master in multiple states. But the biggest benefit that I have that I can offer you is that I've helped people develop exams. I've worked on those committees, and I have learned how to teach the National Electrical Code in a way that, quite frankly, won't put you to sleep. All right, so that's what this program does. So let's kind of give you a little look into the program real quick. So here's what you get. You got this first folder. You need to go into it and watch the video because that basically tells you exactly how to move through this program, which is kind of going to give you an overview real quick here. You've got all of these sections. You need to go through these sections and do each one of these units and do everything in the unit. Here's unit 1. Here's the reading material. Here's your competency review. Here's an assessment that you have to take. And then here's a practice drill that you'll work and see how you do on that before you move forward. Kind of just getting your juices flowing, getting you familiar with the program. And then you go on to definitions, same kind of situation. There's a drill here. There's the reading material. That's the most important thing is the reading material. Go through it. And then, of course, you go through this unit, unit 3, do everything in here, the assessment, do the review. But let's look at this real quick. We'll go look at the reading material so you can kind of get an idea of what we've got going on. All right, so I will go on and go back to the very beginning. So here is the chapter introduction. It kind of gives you the objectives of what we're going to gain in this unit, what you're going to learn. Read this introduction, and then see these arrows. You can move on. And here we talk about the general requirements. At this stage, we're in unit 3. We start getting into the boxes. Really good illustrations. You have call-outs, things like that you can read. But here you'll start noticing these chevrons. So anytime you see a chevron, you need to pause, grab your code book, look this section up in the code, and fully read it. Anywhere you see a chevron. Why do we do it this way? Well, to be quite frank, the ability to have you maneuver in and out and not be so solidified into a program, we want you to be fluid. I want you to be able to do the program. Then I want you to be able to leave that program and go to your code book. Then I want you to be able to go from the code book, go back into the program. I want you to do this fluidly. And that's why we put these chevrons. That's why they're here, okay? Now, as you go through each unit, back and forth, you're going to come to what we call the competency review. And the competency review is at the end of all your reading, you're going to hit this review button. And in this competency review, you're going to have to answer these questions, right? And when you answer these questions, you're going to have to submit them for us to review. Now, look, our questions and our competency reviews are there to make you think. It's not 100% on what you read, but it is based on the unit sections that you're working with, okay? So, for example, if this one's dealing with boxes, it would be Article 314. So these questions will be germane to 314. Now, are these going to give you, these questions going to be exactly pulled from the material? Some of them are, but not all of them. Why? Because we're going to test your ability to maneuver into the code. That's what this competency review is about. So this is why it's uniquely different than anything else. Because what we're doing is saying, I get you read the material. You understand if you went to the chevrons, you're moving in and out of the code book. Now we're going to ask you a question that may or may not be germane to the reading material, but it is going to be germane to the article that you are working with. We're doing this because we're testing your algorithm. We keep track of everything in our program. So we get to see where you are in the system and what your weaknesses are. And we start plotting it. That's for us because it helps us enhance the program. It also helps with what we talk about on Wednesday nights. If we see that students are struggling with something, then we would focus on some kind of lesson on that on a Wednesday night. So all of that's included in here. We do all that. You answer these and you submit them. Now look, if your score is less than 60%, we're not giving you the answer. We're going to tell you to go take the unit again because something did not connect with you, right? So what we found is, let me explain this one because this is where people get lost. We did a test in the 2017 cycle. We did a test. We did one of the hardest units. We did a video on it. And then we let people do it reading material and do the competency. And then their scores were low because they didn't understand it. Then we did a video of that unit explaining all the questions. And we let some students watch it. And then their scores were high. Why do you think that was? It's the same questions. In the video, if you give somebody the answers, then they don't learn anything. They just regurgitate it. But if you make them read the question and then have to answer it logically on a competency test, the truth is going to come out. Whether you read the question or understand the question, that's where the comprehension comes in. So our program, there's more to it than you think in the background. What we're trying to do is push those elements of you learning, and that's what the program's going to do. Of course, we're Wednesday nights. We're there to answer any questions you may have, to be able to clarify it so that you walk away truly understanding it. But that's the way we do these competency reviews. They're all submitted. We will grade them. I grade them personally, and we'll get it back to you, okay? So that's what you do. You go through all of them, and you click the submit button, and it comes to me. I did want to show you that during these competency reviews, and I'll show you again real quick. During these competency reviews, you can bring up the course book. You just click on this over here, and as you can see, it brings up the course book on the right. So even while you're doing the reviews, you can even flip through the book if you need to. You can print any page in the book you want, okay? That's not a problem either, right? So that's what you've got here. You can go to the table of contents. If I'm working on Unit 3, I can go right here, click straight into Unit 3, and go to anything that would match any of these questions I want. So here, box fill, or this is a pull box sizing, okay? So I can do anything in here I want. If I'm doing this unit, I can go down and get me the information. So here's the pull, straight pulls, depth of boxes, straight pulls, multiple raceways, all this that has to do with this box calculation, okay? They're all right here. And if you click on it, it brings up the book as well. And you can flip through the book. And it covers all these graphics, how to calculate the sizing. Here's a good example of this. It will help you figure it out. It's all right there. And yes, the reading feature still works in here as well, okay?
Angle all U-pulls, parentheses, all splices, end parentheses.
So I don't know if you could hear that or not. I might not have that feature set up on my recording, but it's all there. If you highlight something, okay, in the reading material, if I want to highlight something to bring to class, a question that I need to bring to class, maybe I highlight something. Let's see if I go back into the reading material. Let's say I want to do this. And I want to highlight it right here. So this is 3.1a. If I go over here to my study hub, then it will show my highlights. And here's where I was in Unit 3. And here's that 3.1 question right here. This is exactly what I highlighted here. So all I got to do is click this, and this would take me right to it. If I had this highlight, I click this one, and it takes me right to it. So that when I'm in class, I can have this open, and I can say, Paul, I got a question right here, and you have the notes. If I want to bookmark a page, check this out. Say I want an important thing I want to bring up in class. Let's say I click a bookmark, and then I can later on, I close it, but then I can go to my study hub, and I can click bookmarks, and there's the bookmark that I had. If I click it, it goes right to the page where the bookmark is. So that way I can ask this question during class, so that you get your answers, okay? And there's your chevrons. All that's there. Flashcards, another important tool, okay? If I'm in Unit 3, I always want to do my flashcards. Length of free conductor required at each outlet. Click it, 6 inches. Next card. Box fill calculation. One device in a box, single gang box. 2 of the larger conductors connected to the device, so it's a double volume, okay? Distance boxes can be set back in a combustible wall. In a combustible wall, 0. If it's non-combustible, you can go back what? 1/4 inch. So all of these flashcards are there. You can make unlimited flashcards of your own. I encourage people to make flashcards on all the key tables, all the key articles. Test your ability so that you can just rattle off. That's what you want to get to. You want to be able, okay, to be able to say, I want to be able to go 210 branch circuits, 215 outside branch circuits and feeders, 230 services, 240 overcurrent protected device, 242 over voltage, okay, like surge protected device, SPDs. I want to be able to do 430s in motors, 500 hazardous locations. I want to be able to just let it flow. 450 transformers. It's important to me that you work the program so that you can be successful. Our program is designed for you to be successful. There is no other program like it on the market. The current price is $425, and you get access to it for a year. You get access to me. You get access to the Sparky Hub private forum. You get to come to the Wednesday night sessions for as long as we ever hold them. You can, even if you've been out of the program for a year and you want to come and join us, come on in and join us. Okay? Bring some insight. Help bring a question that might help the other students. You're getting a tutor as well without paying for a tutor. And you're getting a mentor because I am here to help you be successful. So hopefully that kind of gave you a little bit more insight of this program. If you want more information on the Fast Trax program, the Black program specifically, then go to the link below, FastTraxSystem.com. Of course, you can go to our website, electrocodecademy.net as well. All URLs lead to our main page. So check it out. You can get more information there. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you'll be the next student in our Fast Trax program. Until next time, folks, stay safe. God bless and be successful.